I'm going to do a quick tutorial on Anki. I looked on the internet and couldn't find very many basic introductions to it, and somebody told me they couldn't understand what was going on in my videos, so I decided to go ahead and make a real basic one. So the first thing you do is just go on the internet and download Anki 2.0. And when you get it, you'll install it. You'll have a folder in Documents called Anki, and it will have an add-ons folder where your add-ons files will be, and a user folder where your database files will be. And unlike in Anki 1.0, all the files are basically in one file, or two files. You have the collection of media, and then your actual collection of files here, and then a database file, which I don't know that much about, but anyways, they're there. And if you want to copy everything you have, you just make a copy of these through the folder and the collection, and and you can take those and put it in whenever you open up Anki again. It'll use those. So when you first open up Anki, you'll get something, and it will have none here. You'll have default deck here. Up at the top, to first create a deck, you'll want to click, we can click Create Deck now down here, and we'll call this Test. And as you can see, I've named mine by the class, or like the lectures that they are after, or the material that they contain within them. So I'll call this Test and click OK, and now we have this here, and this is our deck, and as you can see, there's nothing in it. So there's the deck, and there are different options here for the deck. And like I recommended before, the new cards per day, if you are studying a bunch of information, you'll want to increase that to maximum level. Same with reviews per day, because I think it starts off at 20, and that really isn't enough to study a whole bunch of information. Then we'll want to go ahead and click, to create your first note, you'll want to click Add. Add brings up this Anki card editor here, and fields are what these blanks are, and cards are basically what the fields go to. I have another tutorial on how to make and edit those. So you want to first select your card type, and the basic one is you have a front and a back of a card. You'll type your question in here, and then you'll type in your answer here. Okay, and then you will click, well, so after you do that, or before you do anything, you want to make sure that these are going into the correct deck, and here they're going into the test deck, which is what I want. If you want to add them to a particular deck, you will need to select that deck from here. So this is the card type that you're making, right next to type. This is the deck that you're adding the cards to, right next to deck. Pretty simple. Under the basic card type, we have a front and a back of a card. And don't forget, you can copy and paste into front and back using the clipboard, which is very simple. So we'll click Add, and now we're on to our next card. So the one I don't use basic very much. I tend to use closed cards more often than not. I'm going to open up OneNote so I can show you an example of how I use the close. But basically what the close is a sentence. So I'll type in autoclaves kill all microbes in a non-selective manner. Okay, and so we have a statement here that I find easier to do than question and answer. Even if I want to have all of these autoclave, ethylene XL, which I would want to do if I made this card, I would want to add all of them in there, because there's no way I'm going to come up with autoclaves after when seeing just this. Anyway, so I'll continue on. So you have a statement, and the subject matter that I would like to memorize here is autoclaves. And so then we hit the close button here, which puts it in a parentheses like this, or in a brackets. The brackets, the C1 stands for the card number that this will be a blank on. And I'll do another one for you. What does it do? It kills all microbes in like what kind of manner? In a non-selective manner. So this is the card this will appear on. And then we can click add. And what this will do is generate two cards. One with the blank on the C1 and one with the blank on the C2. So then let's do it again with multiple blanks. Autoclaves, ethylene, okay, so now I have two things that I want to memorize, and I can go ahead and highlight this one and hit the close button, and you'll see C1 appears on there. Ethylene oxide is another one I'm going to use. And I could have said, you know, I could have made this all one close. I could have highlighted all this and done one close, but then I wouldn't know how many answers I'm supposed to put in there unless I put it in over here. I could say, are two things that kill all microbes in a non-selective manner. I could have done that. But I'm trying to show you this. So if I want both of these to appear blank on the same card, all I got to do is change the card number to 1. And that'll put both of these blank on the same card. So I find it easier to make statements than it is for me to write questions and answers, because my questions tend to be open-ended, and it's faster for me to make cards without closes. If you want to, you can highlight like a professor's everything, and then, you know, put in, then make it all into closes. I have sentences of closes on one of mine, but it's not. I mean, you want to have as little as possible on there. You want it to be concise. You want the question to be understandable when you come back to it, and like, because it's going to come back to you in a random fashion, hopefully. So anyway, I'll show you what those look like now. That'll be the best thing to do now. So here's the test deck that I have, and I want to start reviewing them. And it shows me now that I have 4 new cards here, and that would mean that I haven't entered the cards into the learning cycle. And the learning cycle is when I start the memorization process. When they're new, they do not enter learning. They are not in learning mode, and they will not be entered into the learning cycle yet. So I'm going to enter them into the learning cycle by getting multiple correct choices. Here we can go to, so I opened up the deck, and now I'm going to click Study Now. So here's the question on Basic, and then I'm going to click Show. I'm trying to come up with an answer. It's going to say Basic, but click Show Answer. And here you see is the basic answer. So that can be beneficial if there's something that you want to do that on. I have 0 cards like this just because it's faster for me to type in a sentence and close the information I want from it, like I showed you earlier. So I'm going to hit Good. This means it's going to come back in 10 minutes or so. I'm going to hit Good. So here's blank, kill all microbes in a non-selective manner. I think the answer was autoclaves. So I'm going to go ahead and hit Show Answer. And as you can see, there was 1 close. I'll show what this looks like next to the edit. See how it's C1, and there were 2 blanks here, but only one of them showed at a time because this was the first card to come, and it's on C1. The next card that will come will have will show the second card. So blank kill all microbes in a non-selective manner. Autoclaves, show answer, good. Autoclaves kill all microbes in a, and this is the second blank. So I did both of these cards with, which is why I prefer this over the question and answer format, because it generated two cards for me with one sentence. Non-select. Anyway, so here's the C2, and now we're looking at the C2 card, non-selective manner. Okay, good. So this is when I put two blanks on the same card, and you can have as many as you like. I have some with a dozen, which makes it take longer to do, and it's probably not as good, but I needed all the information on the same page. Anyways, C1 and C1 are here. I can show you here how I did this. C1 and C1. All I did was, click close, and then so that I can add all these in to one of them, and I'll make it C1 as well. Just change the number to 1. Now I have 3 blanks here. Autoclaves and ethylene oxide or something like that kill all microbes in a non-selective manner. So there we go. That was all done with one statement. And since I made 2 cards, if this comes up, all you do is click Tools, Maintenance, Empty Cards, and it'll show you what you're deleting. I'm deleting the old card that I didn't use. So here we have it again. We're going back. So these are not entered into the learning process yet. I have to get all of these correct and finish them out, which basically for this settings that I have, I go into more details on another one about this. We're not going to get into too much detail. So I'll click Show Answer. Show, and see now that it's going to show it in 1 day. And once I get done with this, it'll say whatever. This happens no matter whether they're going into learning mode or not. But I have nothing left here to do. And the next time this appears, they will show up in the Do column. And that'll mean that they've entered into learning mode. And as you saw, they're going to show up in 1 day from now. So tomorrow I'll have 5 questions or whatever here. And I can go through and answer the questions. If I get it right, then it'll show up in 3 days, and then, whatever. They have now been entered into learning mode, in which case the SM2 logarithm is applied to them, and you will then memorize them if given enough time. Anyways, that's a quick tutorial on how to use Anki 2.0. If you have other questions, send me a message and I'll make a quick video for you. I have no problem doing that. It's pretty easy for me to do. And anyways, good luck to you and good luck studying.